Wake up, rise up, Mell B on the line. News, weather, truth, she delivers on time. Affirm your power, let the doubt unwind. Kickstart your soul, let your purpose shine. She don't just talk, she spark the flame from 7 to 8. She runs the game, Jamaica to New Orleans and all the world. The vibe don't sleep. Mell B drop gems while the world counts sheep. No fluff, no cap, just facts and fire. Flow that lifts you higher. Wake up, rise up, Mell B on the line. News, weather, truth, she delivers on time. Affirm your power, let the doubt unwind. Kickstart your soul, let your purpose shine. She don't hit snooze, she hits the mic, dropping truth bombs while the sky turn light. Weather on deck, news in a grip, affirmation flows with a sunrise flip. Coffee ain't needed when the words hit deep. She wake up about while the world still sleep. From N.O. to J.A., she rides that way. Mornings get blessed when Mell B brave. No fluff, no script, just soul and sound. She lifts up the room when she come around. Kickstart crew, yeah, they know the drill. She speaks with power, she move with will. Every drop she spit got a purpose post. She don't just talk, she spark results. So rise with the rhythm, align with the beat. Mell B brings heat to your front row seat. Wake up, rise up, Mell B on the line. News, weather, truth, she delivers on time. Affirm your power, let the doubt unwind. Kickstart your soul, let your purpose shine. Wake up, rise up, Mell B on the line. News, weather, truth, she delivers on time. Affirm your power, let the doubt unwind. Kickstart your soul, let your purpose shine. She don't just talk, she spark the flame from 7 to 8. She runs the game, Jamaica to New Orleans and all the world. The vibe don't sleep. Mell B drop gems while the world counts sheep. No fluff, no cap, just facts.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, this is Cookie. Please excuse us for one moment. We're having some technical difficulties. She'll be on in 1 second.
Grand Rising, my beautiful kings and queens. We made it to the finish line. It's your girl, Mell B, closing out the week on Lux Radio Network. It's Friday the 13th. We made it to Friday with style, though. So today is all about celebration energy, celebrating progress, celebrating peace, and celebrating you. So let this day be light, joyful, and full of kind winds that make you dance all in the kitchen, all through the house. It's Friday. All right, on to our affirmation of the day, and I read, it is, I celebrate myself today. I deserve joy, success, and every blessing flowing my way. Fridays are for celebration. This affirmation encourages us to recognize our efforts, embrace abundance, and close the week with gratitude and pride. All right, our word of the day is sublime. Something that is so beautiful, grand, or awe-inspiring that it almost feels overwhelming. A mix of wonder, admiration, and just a touch of fear. In psychology, the sublime describes beauty so powerful that it shakes you. So it's beauty with depth. So think of a sunset that stops you in your tracks, or a moment of love that feels bigger than you. That's sublime. All right, on to our slang phrase of the day, which is big blessing vibes. It's a state of expecting good things and attracting abundance. So I'm walking around like favor is my fragrance. That's my blessing vibe for the day. So make your own. All right, on to the news. First up, we have U.S. national headline news. First up is the White House hosts critical diplomatic summit. The president and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met at the White House yesterday to discuss regional stability and a shift in U.S. policy towards Iran. Second, federal healthcare funding battle. Illinois and Colorado have officially filed lawsuits to block the federal government from cutting over $100 million in public grants, which locals argue would devastate rural medical services. And the Supreme Court admissions impact. Newly released data today reveals the first measurable decline in minority enrollment at elite universities since 2023 Supreme Court ruling on affirmative action, sparking a national debate on educational equality. All right, on to our news city by city around the globe. First up, we have New York. The U.S. Attorney General facing intense congressional questioning today regarding the handling of the unsealed files related to the high-profile Epstein-Maxwell investigations. I've seen all these all over the timeline, and she got her butt kind of handed to her and didn't answer no questions. However, the New York community event today is the annual Black Excellence Performance, a showcase of poetry, music, and theater at Beacon High School at 522 West 44th Street, celebrating local youth talent. Los Angeles. Local authorities are reviewing new documents released early this morning that provide future insight into historical society legal settlements. The LA's community event today is the Adrian Live at Scribble, an evening of live music and local community networking at the Scribble venue on York Boulevard at 7:30 p.m. Chicago. Illinois state leaders are formally challenging a federal push to nationalize specific election procedures, citing a violation of state constitutional rights. Chicago's community event today is Forward Chicago Mahong Afternoon, a weekly community gathering at the Sulzer Regional Library at 4455 North Lincoln Avenue to foster neighborhood connection through the ancient game. Atlanta. Advocacy groups are rallying today to demand the federal health grant cuts be reversed, citing a disproportionate impact on Georgia's underserved maternal health programs. Atlanta's community event today is the House of Furitude Vampire Ball, a high fashion and cultural fusion event at the Biltmore Ballrooms at 817 West Peachtree Street, blending modern artistry with folklore. Houston. A new federal environmental bill is being debated that would force major Houston-based data centers to pay their massive strain on the Texas power grid. Houston's community event today is Handel's Messiah. The House Grand Opera presents a surreal and mesmerizing production of the classic work at the Brown Theater at 7:30 p.m. Washington, D.C. Lawmakers are in gridlock today over a requested $12 billion FEMA appeal to address recent flooding in the Midwest with no clear bipartisan path forward. Washington, D.C.'s community event today is the Black History Month Power Hour, a community leadership breakfast and networking event at the Smithsonian Anticotia Community Event Museum. Miami, a federal judge has issued a stay on the termination of Temporary Protected Status, or TPS, program, allowing Haitian nationals in South Florida to remain legally employed for now. And Miami's community event today is Mariah the Scientist, Hearts Sold Separately Tour, a major live performance at the Fillmore Miami Beach at Jackie Gleason Theater at 8 p.m. Tampa, city officials are issuing an update on the modified Phase 2 water shortage, which with stricter residential usage rules going into effect this weekend. Tampa's community event is the City Council legislative update, a public briefing at City Hall detailing new infrastructure and green space initiatives for the 2026 fiscal year. Newport Richey. Good morning, Dad. The local library system's innovative Theater Pass program has seen record-breaking usage this month, helping residents access high-end cultural events for free. Newport Richey's community event today is Theater Pass launch night. Richey's Suncoast Theater hosts a special performance for the library card holders as part of the community-wide cultural access program. Milwaukee. Good morning, family. The Department of Public Works has alerted residents to a sophisticated text message scam that targets those with unpaid parking tickets to harvest personal data. Milwaukee's community event today is the Chicho Corleone Live, a major reggaeton performance at the Rave Eagles Club, 2400 West Wisconsin Avenue, bringing the community together for an evening of music at 8 p.m. Vancouver. Port authorities are discussing a new trade pact meant to bypass federal tariffs on Canadian exports, aimed at stabilizing the regional manufacturing economy. Vancouver's community event today is the Winter Arts Festival, an outdoor public art and digital light installation across the downtown core, showcasing local Indigenous artists. Toronto. A Toronto-based entrepreneur is making headlines for opening the city's largest Black-owned hair and beauty supply store, a significant milestone for the local retailer. Toronto's community event is Black Entrepreneurship Expo, a major networking and showcase event for minority-owned businesses across the greater Toronto area. Bless up, Jamaica. Kingston. Finance Minister Fayval Williams confirmed that new tax measures, including an environmental protection levy, will take effect soon to support the 2026 budget. Kingston's community event today is the National Heroes Circle Cleanup, a community volunteer day to preserve the grounds of the historic monument in Kingston. Montego Bay. Regional health officials announced an accelerated timeline for the completion of the Western Children and Adolescents Hospital after a delay in equipment imports. Montego Bay's community event today is the Savor Festive Caribbean Barbecue, a community-centric beach dinner at the Sea Island Beach Club, featuring live limbo dancing and island music. Ocho Rios. Environmentalists are proposing a new green zone along the White River to protect local biodiversity from the surge in coastal tourism construction. Community event there today is the Treasure Beach Stroll, a guided community wellness walk along Mahogany Beach, focusing on local environmental preservation. Negril. The Westmoreland Health Department has launched a new wellness and tourism initiative to provide long-term healthcare screenings for hotel and beach workers. Negril's community event today is the Sunrise Cruise with Tiki Pondisi, a tranquil community event on the lake at sunrise, promoting mindfulness and ecotourism. Cayman Islands. The National Museum has launched a massive archival project to digitize 1950s cultural history, calling on residents to submit oral histories. Community event there today is the Cayman Crypto Week, the final day of the 2026 Innovation Summit, which has been held from the 19th to today. From the 9th to today, focusing on digital assets and local Web3 ecosystems. Nassau, Bahamas. The Prime Minister Davis announced a direct food import initiative that aims to lower grocery costs by 15% by cutting out international middlemen. Nassau's community event today is Bask in the Sun at Junkanoo, a community gathering and cultural festival atmosphere at Junkanoo Beach, featuring local artisans and family activities. Nigeria. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has issued a new guideline for digital banking aimed at increasing financial inclusion in rural areas. Nigeria's community event today is Foye Convocation. The Federal University Oye Ekiti hosts its 10th convocation ceremony, celebrating national academic achievements. Ghana. The Supreme Court is currently reviewing a high-profile deportation agreement with the United States to ensure that it complies with national privacy laws. Ghana's community event is the National Theater Storytelling, a live outdoor storytelling and theatrical performance at the Open Air National Theater in Accra. The Netherlands. Dutch media is reporting a surge in zero alcohol bar openings in Amsterdam, following new government health guidelines for 2026. Netherlands community event today is Away from the Party, a musical performance at Theater Bellevue in Amsterdam exploring themes of aging and dreams at 12:30 p.m. Vietnam. The Vietnamese government has launched a new digital nomad residency permit to attract international tech talent to Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi. Vietnam's community event today is the Tech Cleanup Initiative, a community-led restoration project to beautify city parks and public spaces following the recent Lunar New Year. France. French-speaking artists are preparing for tonight's 41st Vecteur de la Musique Awards, the country's biggest night in music. France's community event is the Art Capital 2026, a major contemporary art event at the Grand Palais in Paris, featuring 4 art fairs in one, and it runs through February 15th. Germany. The industrial leaders are meeting in Berlin today to discuss a green hydrogen roadmap to offset the rising costs of traditional electricity. Germany's community event is the Parhilon Sun Concert, a local music performance at Haus der Jugend, featuring independent German bands at 8 p.m. And India, the Education Ministry has launched Umang 2026, a major cultural and technical competition for polytechnic students across several states. India's event of the day is the Anti-Valentine's Day Parties, a trending cultural event in cities like Pune and Mumbai, focusing on dating fatigue, networking events, and nostalgic mixers. And Trinidad. The government has announced new investments in the Port of Spain infrastructure to boost maritime trade efficiency by late 2026. Trinidad's community event is the Carnival 2026 Countdown, a neighborhood community meeting and mosque camp launch in St. James to prep for the upcoming festival season. All right, on to our weather. New York. Today will be hot. Well, you will have a high of 41 and a low of 30 with partly sunny skies. Los Angeles, cloudy with a high of 67 and a low of 53. Chicago, sunny with a high of 47 and a low of 28. Atlanta, sunny with a high of 60 and a low of 38. Houston, partly sunny with a high of 70 and a low of 63. Washington, D.C., sunny with a high of 47 and a low of 33. Miami, sunny with a high of 75 and a low of 63. Tampa, partly sunny with a high of 70 and a low of 58. Newport Richey, partly sunny with a high of 67 and a low of 52. Milwaukee, sunny with a high of 47 and a low of 25. Vancouver, light rain today with a high of 46 and a low of 38. Toronto, cloudy skies with a high of 36 and a low of 23. Kingston, mostly sunny with a high of 80 and a low of 65. Montego Bay, sunny with a high of 79 and a low of 70. Ocho Rios, light rain today with a high of 77 and a low of 68. Negril, sunny with a high of 81 and a low of 74. Cayman Islands, sunny with a high of 77 and a low of 76. Nassau, sunny with a high of 74 and a low of 66. Nigeria, mostly cloudy with a high of 89 and a low of 78. Ghana, cloudy with a high of 82 and a low of 78. Netherlands in Amsterdam, we have cloudy skies with a high of 37 and a low of 32. Hanoi in Vietnam, cloudy with a high of 78 and a low of 68. Paris, it will be light rain today with a high of 48 and a low of 37. Germany, Berlin, it will be they have bad weather today. They're having a lot of snow. You guys are having heavy snow today with a high of 35 and a low of 31. India, New Delhi, you're going to be partly sunny with a high of 76 and a low of 54. And Trinidad, Port of Spain, you will be partly sunny with a high of 85 and a low of 75. Grand Rising, bro. All right, on to sports. Let's start out with the NBA. NBA scores from last night. We have the Bucks over the Thunder, 110-93. The Trailblazers over the Jazz, 135-119. And the Lakers over the Mavericks, 124-104. LeBron James is 41 years old. He became the oldest player in the NBA history to record a triple-double in this game over the Mavericks. All right, in the NBA today, ladies, it is All-Star Weekend. They are in Inglewood, California. Today, there will be the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game is at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the Rising Stars Challenge is at 9. Saturday, tomorrow, Valentine's Day, the All-Star Saturday night, including the Skills Challenge, which is a 3-point contest, also, and the Slam Dunk Contest. Sunday, the 15th, is the 75th NBA All-Star Game at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. In college, men's college ball scores from yesterday, we have North Texas over Memphis, 76-69. Oregon State over San Francisco, 90-63. We have Wright State over Detroit Mercy, 77-74. Southern Illinois over Evansville, 86-60. Belmont over Northern Iowa, 91-86. Winthrop over Gardner Webb, 103-85. We have Towson over Stony Brook, 69-57. UNC Wilmington over Elon, 65-54. Northeastern over William and Mary, 94-67. And Merrimack over Marist, 81-56. In college ball tonight, we have Michigan State versus Wisconsin at 8 p.m. on Fox. We also have St. Louis versus Loyola Chicago at 8:30 p.m. on ESPN2. We have UMass versus Akron at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPNU. And Ohio and Miami will also be at 9 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. You also have UNLV versus Boise State. It's going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on FS1. And Iona and Canisius, I hope that's right, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN Plus. You'll have Yale and Dartmouth at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN Plus, and Cornell versus Princeton at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPNU. All right, on to soccer. Now, before I get into soccer, y'all, I actually went by region. So if I mess up some of the names, forgive me. It's my first day doing this. So I haven't really had a chance to learn how to pronounce these teams well. So here we go. In soccer, The results from yesterday in the Europe region, we have the English Premier League. We have a draw between Brentford and Arsenal at 1. They both had 1. In the Spanish Copa del Rey semifinal, we have Atletico Madrid over Barcelona 4-0. We have the UEFA Women's Championship League playoffs. We have Manchester United over Atletico Madrid 3-0. And Wolfsburg over Juventus was a draw. That was actually a draw, 2-2. In the North American and Caribbean region, the CONCACAF Championship Cup, there was Cruz Azul over Vancouver 3-0. So Cruz Azul advances. There wasn't any Jamaican soccer yesterday. Games played yesterday for scores. South America, we have the Copa Libertadores qualifying. First up, we have the University of Católica over Juventud. Oh my goodness, Juventud de Palestras, 1-0. In other words, then we have Argentine Primavera Division. We have Tigre over Aldovizzi, 1-0. And we have Argentinos Juniors and River Plate was a draw at 1. Now, African and Asian division region. Africa, the domestic league action focused on training ahead of the weekend fixtures. So no major international or top tier continental scores from yesterday. And the Asian region competition was paused for the AFC U17 Asian Cup draw held yesterday, which placed Indonesia in Group B with Japan. I'm going to learn what all that means. So today we have in international soccer, we have German Bundesliga versus Leipzig at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN Plus. We have the Spanish La Liga versus the Getafe at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN Deportes and ESPN Plus. We also have the French League, AS Monaco versus Lens at 2:45 Eastern Standard Time on beIN Sports. And we have the English Championship with Sheffield United versus Hull City at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Paramount Plus. All right. And once again, our Jamaica Soccer League will not play. Their next rounds don't begin until Sunday the 15th. However, our sports fact of the day is February 13th, 1920. On this day, 106 years ago, the Negro National League was officially organized during a meeting at a YMCA in Kansas City. Led by Rube Foster, it was the first successful and enduring professional league for Black baseball players who were barred from the Major League Baseball teams, laying the groundwork for some of the greatest legends in history of the sport. Whew, sports got me this morning. All right, y'all, on to our daily feature, which is Feature Friday. And there are a few people I want to make it to pay attention to this spotlight today. Just hear me. The spotlight today is the 5 love languages. Valentine's weekend is here. So today we're breaking down the 5 love languages, not the cute social media version, but the real practical blueprint for how people give and receive love. When you understand someone's language, you stop guessing and start connecting. So first up, are words of affirmation. Love is felt through spoken and written appreciation, compliments, encouragement, acknowledgement, and verbal reassurance. So how they feel loved. Hearing, I appreciate you. Being told they're valued. receiving thoughtful texts and notes, and having their efforts recognized. So suggestions, send a morning thinking of you message. Leave a sticky note on the mirror. Give specific compliments. I love how you, or instead of you're cute, I just love how you blah, 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 blah. Speak gratitude out loud, not just in your head. For the words of affirmation lover, your voice is the love letter. Second, acts of service. Love is shown through actions, helping, supporting, or making life easier for your partner. So how this makes them feel loved? When someone takes initiative, when tasks are handled without even being asked, when effort is shown through doing, not talking. So in other words, don't be talking about it, be about it. Some suggestions: cook their favorite meal. Handle an errand they would have been stressing them out about doing. Fill up their gas tank. Ask, what can I take off your plate today? So for an acts of service person, love sounds like, I got you. Third, receiving gifts. Love is expressed through thoughtful, meaningful items, not the price tag, but the intention. So how to make them feel loved? When you remember their favorites, like their favorite color, or their meal, or, the way they dress, whatever they like. When a gift shows you were paying attention, you also got to listen. When the item symbolizes a moment or a memory, like a vacation you took somewhere, or, a certain thing that makes that person smile, you got to watch and listen. So suggestions: bring their favorite snack, buy a book they mentioned in passing. Black Butterfly is a good one. Create a small thinking of you care package. Give symbolic gifts like keychains, bracelets, keepsakes. So that for gifts person, the magic is in the meaning, not the money. So 4, quality time. Love is felt through undivided attention, presence, conversation, and shared experiences. So how they feel this? When you put your phone down, when you listen without rushing, when you create moments together. So suggestions: take a walk together, have a no phones dinner, plan a simple date night at home, ask open-ended questions that spark conversation and connection. So for the quality time lover, your presence is the present. And last, physical touch. Love is communicated through physical closeness, not just intimacy, but everyday affection. How they feel loved is hugs, hand holding, cuddling, a gentle touch on the back or the arm, sitting close during conversations, and physical reassurance during stress. Suggestions: give a long, intentional hug, hold hands during a walk, sit next to them instead of across the room, offer a shoulder rub for a long day. Foot rub works too. So for the physical touch person, closeness is comfort. So in closing, love languages aren't about changing who you are. They're about learning how people you care about feel seen. Speak their language and watch your relationships transform. Ashe. All right, on to the second part of our daily features. On Friday, we do Feature Friday, Global Flavor. So when we do Global Flavor, I take your taste buds on a world tour, exploring dishes, drinks, and traditions that shape cultures across the globe. So today we're making 2 stops, India and Senegal, with 2 iconic culture-rich dishes and drinks. So first up, India, we have chai wala tea. Chai wala means tea. Excuse me. Chai wala means tea seller. And in India, these vendors are cultural icons. Their spiked milk tea, simply called chai, is a daily ritual for millions. So chai is made with black tea, milk, sugar, and a spice blend called masala. Common spices include cardamom, ginger, cinnamon, cloves, and black pepper. So chaiwalas prepare it to be boiling everything together, creating a rich aromatic brew. It's served in small cups, often clay cups called cool huds, which give the tea an earthly flavor. Chai stalls are social hubs, place where people gather to talk politics, gossip, business, and life. Chai isn't just a drink, it's hospitality, community, and comfort in a cup. In India, offering someone chai is a sign of respect and welcome. So one sip of chai wala tea feels like a warm hug from the motherland, spicy, sweet, and full of soul. Next up, Senegal. Jollof rice. It's actually pronounced chebojin. So chebojin is Senegal's national dish and the original ancestor of West African jollof rice. Created in the 19th century by a chef named Pinda Maibe in St. Louis, Senegal. Made with broken rice, tomato paste, onions, garlic, and a mix of vegetables like carrots, cabbage, and cassava. Traditionally cooked with fish, not chicken or beef. The rice absorbs the tomato broth, giving it that deep red color and bold flavor. It's cooked in one pot, a technique that spread across West Africa and evolved into regional jollof variations. It's more than a food, it's heritage. It represents Senegalese hospitality, community, and the pride of a dish that influenced an entire continent's cuisine. All right, on to our book club, where we are reading The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Today's focus is on boundaries, honesty, and integrity. So being impeccable with your word also means keeping your word to yourself and others. In our community, your word is your bond. This agreement brings the principle into your healing journey. If you say you're going to rest, rest. If you say you're done with toxic cycles, be done. If you say you're choosing peace, choose peace. Tell yourself, I'm not going back to that situationship, or I'm not answering the phone for chaos. Then they call. Instead of picking up, you let it ring and keep your promise to yourself. Your word is a contract, so honor it. Stand on your word today, especially the promises you make to yourself. All right, on to our cause of the day, which is cyclothymic disorder. It is a mild but chronic form of bipolar disorder. It causes emotional ups and downs that are less severe than full bipolar episodes, but still destructive to daily life, often overlooked or mistaken for moodiness. Symptoms: periods of elevated mood or mild hypomania, periods of low mood, irritability, sleep changes, difficulty maintaining routines, and emotional instability lasting 2+ years. Treatment: mood stabilizers, psychotherapy, lifestyle routine changes, like sleep, exercise, stress reduction, and avoiding alcohol or recreational drugs. There's no known prevention, but early mental support reduces the severity. More information can be found at NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, Depression and Bipolar Support Alliance, and also the American Psychiatric Association. All right, today in history. In 2010, NASA's Solar Dynamic Observatory launches, a major leap in solar research, giving scientists unprecedented views of the sun's activity. In 1923, the first Black-owned hospital in Chicago opens. Provident Hospital, founded by Dr. Daniel Hale Williams, became a training ground for Black nurses and doctors during segregation. In African American history today, in 1923, the Renaissance begins. Black artists gain national spotlight. During this period, Harlem Renaissance artists like Aaron Douglas and Zora Neale Hurston began receiving national recognition for their work. In 1965, Malcolm X gives his one final speech. Just days before his assassination, Malcolm delivered a powerful address in Rochester, New York, urging unity and global human rights. And in 1996, Tupac's All Eyes on Me drops, a defining moment in hip-hop history. The album showcased the complexity, vulnerability, and brilliance of Black storytelling. All right, on to African American scientists and inventors. First up, we have Kizzmekia Corbett, a viral immunologist whose research helped develop one of the first mRNA vaccines during the pandemic. Next, we have Garrett Morgan. He designed and improved road safety and became the model for modern traffic lights worldwide. He was the inventor of the 3-position traffic signal light. And we have Dr. Jewel Plummer Cobb, cancer researcher and cell biologist. Her work on skin cancer and chemotherapy resistance advanced cancer treatment, opened doors for women in STEM. All right, on to our Back to Roots segment, where we are closing out our spotlight of language and identity through proverbs, greetings, and names. So first up, our first proverb is Akan from Ghana. Whew. All right. It is Obe and Chure Abufra Nana Ma. Meaning, no one teaches a child about God. This proverb means spiritual awareness is in it. Children naturally sense the divine, and it's woven into their soul. All right, next we have a greeting from Somali, which is Somali from Somalia. It is Ishka Waran, meaning how are you? What's the news? This greeting invites conversation. It's a cultural way of saying, talk to me. I care about what's happening in your world. And 3, name. This comes from Wolof in Senegal. The name is Ndoye, meaning who brings luck or blessing. Wolof names often reflect lineage and spiritual purpose. Ndoye is a name of favor, a child beloved to bring prosperity to the family. All right, and on down the rabbit hole we go. Today's spotlight is the superstition of Friday the 13th. Some dates slip quietly across the calendar. Then there's Friday the 13th, the day that makes people cancel flights, avoid major decisions, and clutch their good luck charms a little tighter. But why does this one date carry so much weight? So let's go down the rabbit hole. Number 1, the fear of 13, where it really started. Western cultures have long treated the number 12 as a symbol of completeness. 12 months, 12 zodiac signs, 12 Olympian gods. But 13, that number has been the odd one out for centuries. So the Code of Hammurabi famously skipped the number 13 in its list of laws, likely a clerical error, but later generations pointed to it as proof of the number's bad energy. The psychological term for the fear of the number 13 is triskaidekaphobia. Yeah, say that 3 times. But the superstition goes a little deeper. 2, Norse mythology, the uninvited 13th guest. One of the earliest stories tied to the number 13 comes from the Norse legend. 12 gods gathered for a feast in Valhalla. Loki, the trickster, arrived uninvited as the 13th guest. He manipulated the blind god Her into killing Balder, the god of joy. This tragedy supposedly cemented 13 as a symbol of chaos and misfortune. Third, Christian tradition, the Last Supper connection. Another major influence comes from Christianity. 13 people were present at the Last Supper, Jesus and his 12 apostles. Judas, the betrayer, was the 13th guest. Jesus was crucified the next day, which was Good Friday. This pairing of Friday plus 13 created a powerful cultural association with betrayal, suffering, and bad luck. 4, the Knights Templar, the Dark Friday. Some point to a real historic event. On Friday, October 13, 1307, King Philip IV of France ordered the mass arrest of the Knights Templar. Many were tortured or executed. While historians debate whether this event truly sparked the superstition, it added fuel to the legend. 5, the 19th century boost, literature and pop culture. The superstition didn't fully explode until the 1800s. French literature in 1834 referenced Friday the 13th as the day of misfortune. Hey, Rube. Composer Jonah Renesse died on Friday the 13th, and his biography highlighted his belief that both Fridays and the number 13 were unlucky. In 1907, the novel Friday the 13th used the superstition to trigger a Wall Street panic, helping cement the date in modern imagination. And of course, we all know the 1980 fantastic horror film franchise that took it to a whole new level. Number 6, global twist. It's not unlucky everywhere. Different cultures fear different dates. Spain and Greece, for instance, Tuesday the 13th is the unlucky one. In Italy, Friday the 17th carries the bad vibes. And in Japan and China, the number 4 is feared because it sounds like the word death. Superstition is cultural, not universal. So does it really affect people? Yes. In unmeasurable ways. Some people experience real anxiety on this date, including sweating, trembling, or rapid heartbeat. Psychotherapist Donald Doisy even coined the term, okay, here we go, paraskevidecatriphobia, to describe the fear of Friday the 13th. So whether you see Friday the 13th as a cosmic warning or just another day on the calendar, remember this: superstition only has the power you give it. Walk with intention, not fear, and keep your energy high no matter what the date is. All right, on to our fact or fiction, Urban Legends edition. I love this Friday 13th thing. All right, first up, we have the vanishing hitchhiker, one of the oldest and most widespread ghost stories in the world. Reports of vanishing hitchhikers go back centuries, long before cars. Early versions involved travelers on horseback or wagons. The modern version exploded in the 1930s and 40s. A driver picks up a young hitchhiker. They talk, the passenger gives an address, and it disappears from the car without a trace. When the driver goes to the address, the family says, oh, she died years ago. So how did this spread? It appears in American, European, African, and Asian folklore, often tied to tragic accidents and local ghost stories, popularized by newspapers, campfire tales, and later TV shows. There's no verified case of a hitchhiker physically vanishing from a moving vehicle. Folklorists clarified this is a moral ghost story, a tale meant to warn drivers about road safety and compassion. So the verdict of this story is fiction, but it's one of the most universal ghost legends ever recorded. All right, next up, 2, calls from the dead. Phone calls from people who have already passed away. Reports of calls from the dead began in the early 1900s with the rise of telephones. People claimed to receive static-filled calls, one-word messages, familiar voices, or calls traced to disconnected numbers. The most famous case is from 1969 when a Chicago woman says she received repeated calls from her deceased mother. So how does it spread? Paranormal researchers documented dozens of cases. Telephone companies investigated some reports, and pop culture amplified the phenomenon. So most cases have technical explanations: crossed wires, common in early phone systems, misrouted signals, caller ID errors, hoaxes, or grief-related auditory misinterpretation. But there is no scientific evidence that the dead can make phone calls. So this verdict of this story is fiction. But the emotional impact of grief can make these experiences seem very real. And last, the black-eyed children encounters. Mysterious children with pitch black eyes who ask to be let inside. A lot of these sound like movies, don't they? So the backstory of this is, this legend began in the 1990s when a Texas journalist described an encounter with two children who had completely black eyes and unnerving presence. Since then, people worldwide have reported children knocking on doors late at night, asking for help to be let in, speaking in strange monotone voices, and creating overwhelming fear. So how did it spread? Internet forums in the early 2000s, paranormal websites, creepypasta culture, and podcasts and YouTube channels. So there is no verified encounters, no police reports, no physical evidence. Folklorists classify black-eyed children as a modern digital folklore, similar to Slender Man, a story that spread online and evolves with each retelling. So this verdict of this story is actually fiction, a powerful internet-born legend, but not supported by any factual evidence. All right, on to our tech tip of the day. Use cloud backup to protect your photos and your files. Cloud backup automatically saves your photos, documents, and videos to secure online storage. So how do you use it? If you have an iPhone, you go to your settings, get Apple ID, iCloud, and iCloud backup. If you have an Android, you go to your settings, hit Google and backup. And on Windows and Macs, OneDrive, Google Drive, or Dropbox, turn on automatic sync. If your device is ever lost or damaged, you can restore everything instantly by using this. All right, on to our finance tip of the day, which is use cash stuffing for spending control. It's a budgeting method where you withdraw cash for categories like groceries, gas, or just fun money, and stop spending when the envelope is empty. So studies show people spend less when using cash because it creates a physical awareness of money leaving your hand. It's especially helpful for overspending triggers like food, shopping, or entertainment. So how do you use this? Choose 2 to 3 categories you usually overspend in. Withdraw a set amount of cash. Place each amount in a labeled envelope. Spend only what's in the envelope. It's simple, visual, and highly effective. So if you ain't got nothing else left in that envelope, you can't get what you're trying to buy. All right, on to our fun fact of the day, which is a day on Venus is longer than a year on Venus. Venus rotates extremely slowly. One full rotation takes 243 Earth days, but it orbits the sun in 225 Earth days. So it's a reminder that not all planets follow Earth's rhythm. Venus also rotates backwards, making its sunrise in the west and set in the east. All right, our fun holiday of the day, it's National Break Up with Your Gym Day. A humorous holiday encouraging people to rethink gym memberships they don't use. The average American wastes $400 plus a year on unused gym memberships. This day is about choosing fitness routines that actually fit your lifestyle. So if your gym isn't serving you today, today's the day to cancel that membership and find movement that feels good. All right, on to our quote of the day. And I quote, "The struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose, end quote. That was by Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick reminds us that purpose is forged through pressure. Your challenges aren't punishments, they're preparation. Every setback, delay, and detour is shaping you into the person who you can call, who can carry your calling. All right, on to music and entertainment. Rihanna sparks album rumors after late night studio session. Rihanna was photographed leaving a New York studio with longtime collaborators, reigniting speculation about her next album. Any movement from Rihanna sends the Navy into a frenzy. Fans are hoping for R9 soon. All right, Jordan Peele announces a new horror film in development. Jordan Peele confirmed his next psychological thriller is officially underway, with casting already in progress. Peele remains one of the most influential Black directors shaping modern horror. Celebrity gossip today, we have Megan Thee Stallion seen with a new mystery man. Megan was spotted leaving a restaurant with a tall, unidentified champion. Companion. So social media is already trying to identify who he is. And Angela Bassett trending after fans demand she direct a film. After a behind-the-scenes clip of Angela directing a commercial went viral, fans are calling to her to helm a full feature film. The internet is united. Give Angela the director's chair. All right, in our celebrity birthdays today, we have Randy Moss, NFL Hall of Fame wide receiver, one of the greatest wide receivers in NFL history, known for his record-breaking speed and athleticism. And Lux Radio would like to give a happy 5th anniversary shout out to Raven and her husband. Congratulations. All right, on to our lifestyle segment. Our soul food recipe today is shrimp and grits with smoked paprika. And our beverage is blueberry antioxidant smoothie. All right, man, I'm getting on y'all. It's Friday. Have you made your doctor's appointments yet? Have you scheduled those annual checkups? I hope so. But for your health tip today, take a 10-minute walk after meals. It improves digestion and lowers blood sugar spikes. Your fashion tip of the day is Fresh Friday Fade or Shape Up. A clean lineup boosts confidence heading into the weekend. So I know those barber chairs are going to be full. All right, women, health and beauty tip of the day is lip mask overnight. It prevents dryness and keeps lips soft for a weekend glam. Women's fashion tip of the day is Casual Friday denim upgrade. Choose dark wash jeans. They look polished, but still relaxed. Our household chore of the day is change them bed sheets. Fresh sheets improve sleep quality and reduce allergens. And in relationship, our relationship advice for today for couples is plan a weekend moment together. It doesn't have to cost money. It can be a walk, a movie, or even a meal. Gotcha. Announcements. Couples plan a weekend moment together. It doesn't have to cost money, a walk, a movie, or even just a meal. Connection is built in simple moments. Friendships, check on your strong friend, the one who always got it. They need support too. They just don't ask for it. Situationships, decide what you want before the weekend starts. Don't let vibes, loneliness, or late night texts make decisions for you. Move with intention, not impulse. So when you see that 2 a.m. call, you already know what that's about. Swipe. And family, end the week with gratitude. Say thank you to a family member for support, for love, or just for being there. Gratitude softens generational tension. All right, on to our Before They Were Legends. Today we spotlight Mr. James Earl Jones. Before that iconic voice, before the legacy, there was silence. James Earl Jones grew up on a farm in rural Mississippi and later Michigan. As a child, he developed a severe stutter, so intense that he stopped speaking altogether for nearly 8 years. He communicated mostly through writing and avoided talking in school because he feared being mocked. A high school English teacher asked him to read a poem aloud in class. Jones tried, and for the first time in years, his voice came out strong and steady. That moment cracked open the silence and set him on the path toward acting, theater, and eventually film. James Earl Jones became one of the most legendary voices in history, from Star Wars to Lion King, and one of the most respected actors of stage and screen. His journey is a reminder that the very thing you struggle with can also become your greatest gift. R.I.H. All right, and last but not least, our daily horoscopes, starting with Aries. End the week strong. Finish what you started. Your lucky numbers are 8, 19, and 34. Taurus, comfort and connection bring you joy today. Your lucky numbers are 2, 17, and 29. Gemini, a conversation shifts your perspective. Your lucky numbers today are 5, 14, and 33. Cancer, your intuition guides you towards the right choice. Your lucky numbers today are 9, 20, and 42. Leo, your presence lights up every room. Enjoy it. We know. Lucky numbers are 11, 23, and 45. Virgo, a small win boosts your confidence. Your lucky numbers today are 6, 18, and 37. Libra, harmony returns in relationships. Breathe easy. Your lucky numbers today are 4, 16, and 31. Scorpio, your insight is powerful. Trust your instincts. Your lucky numbers today are 12, 25, and 40. Sagittarius, your optimism attracts opportunity. Your lucky numbers are 7, 21, and 39. Capricorn, a financial or career breakthrough is near. Your lucky numbers are 10, 24, and 36. Aquarius, your creativity is magnetic today. Your lucky numbers are 3, 15, and 38. And Pisces, your empathy strengthens a connection. Your lucky numbers today are 13, 22, and 41. So on Monday's show, we're kicking off a brand new week with fresh tech, finance, lifestyle, and entertainment updates to get your morning started right. New segments, new stories, and new energy. All are waiting for you after the weekend. At this time, I would like to say thank you to our sponsors, Bello Burn Hot Sauce, Bold Taste, Big Kick. Bello Burn keeps the city spicy. RAS Herbals, Natural Remedies, Real Results. RAS Herbals keeps the community grounded. Colorane Candles, soft light, soft energy. Colorane Candles elevates every space. And Universal Madness, the official sponsor of the Chief and Ghost show, Style with a Statement. Universal Madness keeps the culture fitted. Now for announcements. Don't forget to watch the Peace podcast tonight with Tay and Dre. At 9:30, live on Lux Radio Network and luxradio.com. Also tomorrow night, we have Snatched and Savage at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Omni, Mimi, Unknown Mike, and special guest Ace Boogie, live on Lux Radio Network and also luxradio.com. So, we've been on this journey together since I first hit the airwaves back in September of last year. From day one, my goal was to build a community, and seeing how you all show up every morning still humbles me. But today, I want to take a moment to celebrate one person in particular. This individual hasn't just tuned in occasionally. He has been here with us every single day since I first aired. That loyalty is rare, and I'm so incredibly grateful for his continued support. It is my absolute honor to announce our very first viewer of the month, none other than Mr. Evans in Florida. Dad, congratulations. We're not letting you go empty-handed, though. So for being our inaugural winner, you're getting a whole lot of love from this show. So you have won your very own spotlight segment on the show for the next month. Either you can tell me a segment you want me to do, or I can name one after you, but it's yours for the whole month. Second, you will receive the very first autograph copy of my brand new book, Black Butterfly, and of course, a fresh haul of Lux Radio merchandise so you can represent the family in style. So thank you so much for being the heartbeat of this show. Everyone help me in the comments, blow up Mr. Evans, and let's congratulate our first viewer of the month. Love you, Dad. Yeah. Also, mark your calendars. So starting March 1st, we're officially implementing Viewer of the Week as well. That's right. Every single week, I'll be picking one dedicated member to kick off Mell B's morning Kickstart. I will also have prizes, more shout outs, and more ways to see who make this show what it is. So if you want the title, you know what to do. Keep locking in, keep engaging, and keep Mell B first in the morning with your morning coffee. All right, y'all. So that's another wrap for this week. We made it through. Rest this weekend, refill your spirit, come back ready for a brand new chapter on Monday. Stay safe, stay blessed, and stay you. And don't let nobody tilt your crown. Hit it.